Is it propaganda or truth? That is the million-dollar question we will be answering today on Business Ma. Let's dive in and take a look at China's supposed debt trap policy. This is a problem that has existed for a long time. However, it has been gaining popularity on the universal stage. In recent years, as more people have been aware of it, it has gained traction. Yet, it appears that more countries are collapsing as a victim of China's snare. You might be wondering what this debt trap policy is all about. So, let's get started. This type of diplomacy entails China jumping in on project loans with excessively long terms. States are finding it difficult to repay their debts. Ultimately, they are forced to accept reforms on the economic or political front. Simply explained, a debt trap is a situation in which you are unable to repay your debts, in which a person is forced to spend excessively on borrowing to repay their existing debts. China is putting countries in the position to do exactly that. Debt trap diplomacy, as we discuss it now, is a term used in international relations to describe a creditor nation or a country that owes money to another country. A financial institution that lends to a borrowing country in order to increase the lender's lending capacity. The phrase political leverage is frequently used in relation to China, as it has been dubbed, is a country that has been accused of being corrupt. The most ardent supporter of China, according to popular belief, lends money to other countries. They are unable to meet their debt payback obligations. This is an accusation that has long been refuted by Beijing. But what gives critics enough clout to launch such accusatory attacks against China? This is where the case study begins. Sri Lanka, for example, is frequently cited by critics of China as having embarked on a massive port project in Hambantota with Chinese investment. However, the billion-dollar project, which used Chinese loans and contractors, became mired in controversy and struggled to prove viable, leaving Sri Lanka saddled with growing debts. Finally, in 2017, Sri Lanka agreed to give state-owned China merchants a controlling 70% stake in the port in exchange for Chinese investment. This was met with a lot of local controversy and criticism because it gave China control over a very important commercial and military port en route. Many believe that Pakistan, along with several other countries that are indebted to China with over $105 billion in Chinese investments, is on its way to a similar and fateful end. Even key African countries appear to be caught in this web, as China holds key resources and assets as collateral for debts that may never be paid. But where do we draw the line between investments and Western accusations of debt trap policies? This is where the world is torn apart. Many people believe that the debt trap is a myth, and they stand by it. There have certainly been some cases where the debt issue became really a big problem, and a lot of people talk about Sri Lanka and Hamburg, and so on. But aside from those specific incidents, I don't think there's been a huge issue about a debt trap. So, is it just pure investment and business, or is there more to it? It's a difficult question to answer, but we do know some of the motivations behind China's global paper trail, known as EU in Chinese. The Belt and Road Initiative was first announced by Chinese President Xi Jinping in 2013. It is a global plan aimed at strengthening trade infrastructure and investment links between China and an estimated 65 other countries. Potentially participating countries account for more than 30% of the global GDP, 62% of the world's population, and 75% of known energy reserves. Despite its name, the road refers to a maritime network of shipping lanes that runs from China through Southeast Asia, Africa, and all the way to Europe. The Belt refers to the overland routes stretching from Central Asia to Europe. To China's credit, no one is forced to accept these loans, and in fact, these other countries frequently come looking for them. However, it would be naive to believe that the economic potential in these transactions is not significant. I suppose it's only a matter of time before we truly see the full effects of the alleged trap and whether or not it's as terrifying as it's projected to be. Could these be some of the first fangs in China's rise to global dominance?